So you've done the hard part and gathered all those important tax documents into one massive pile, and now you actually have to file your tax return. What do you do? We're here to help you figure out the best option for you depending on your situation.
Hi Refinery 29, my name is Mallory. I'm 25 years old. I'm from Orange County.
Hi, I'm Farah Jaffrey. I'm 29 years old. I am from Los Angeles, California.
I work in the restaurant industry as Leader D.
I am a recruiter by day, yoga instructor, and actor by night.
My last splurge item I bought myself was an exercise bike.
They're the white chunky sneakers, like the platform sneakers. I just had to buy them because they're so cute.
And joining us again are our tax experts, Lynn and Melissa. All right, let's dive right into Mallory's question.
My question for you is, am I better off using a tax software or hiring an accountant to file my return?
Great question, Mallory. Melissa, what advice do you have for Mallory?
If you have one W-2 and you have no business deduction, do it yourself because you're not gonna leave any money on the table. But anybody who's got multiple W-2s, cash income, it's just better to have a tax professional do it properly so you don't put up any red flags to the IRS and get potentially audited.
You know, we have a lot of options when it comes to filing our taxes. When I filed my taxes for the first time, I actually did free filing. And it's really simple. A lot of times they've set it up so that it's intuitive. They guide you through what you need to do, what you need to look for.
The biggest and the most obvious pro is that you don't have to pay anybody to do this.
Pros of free filing are it's free. If you don't have an involved return, meaning multiple streams of income, investments, dividends, all those things, you're like, what is all that? I have a W-2, then it would be great for you.
You save money and you do it yourself. You learn more about your finances. But then a con is, you could mess up.
You could lose more money than you save by not paying someone.
You could be potentially missing out on deductions that you can take, expenses to use, confusing some things, leaving things out.
You could make an error that would cause an IRS audit. So if you're gonna do the taxes on your own, I'd absolutely state that having the tax software is gonna be in your best interest. It's gonna ask you every possible question that could possibly be asked. However, if you skip a section and you don't know taxes enough or the software enough to know where to go back to correct your answer, you could potentially be in a quandary.
If you're your average Joe, like I said, then you can go use the online tax software because you have one W-2, you have nothing to worry about. You're getting the standard deduction and you're done. Anything where you're making extra money that you have to claim by law, you don't know what you can write off.
Once I realized that things are getting a little trickier, then that's when I decided to find an accountant.
They're very knowledgeable on the subject and they can help you get the best return. If you have a specific situation where you have multiple streams of income, 1099s, multiple W-2s, they'll know the ins and the outs, the whys, and they can explain it to you so you can better set yourself up the next year to document everything that you can potentially write off.
However, if you only want to look at the number of dollars that you're going to spend, then we could say the cost of a tax professional could be a con.
So everybody understands, how do tax professionals charge? What is the typical range for fees?
I think it depends on who you're going to. My company is very reasonable. Like we start off at $250 a return. But I do know there are other companies that you can go to that charge you. They say that it'll be a flat rate, but it's not. They charge you per form that you use.
When you make mistakes, it's going to be massively costly afterward. So if you're going to this next level in your businesses, you have to spend money to save money.
I think so, and it's spending money in the right areas, which
Absolutely.
hiring people to teach you is definitely a right area to spend money on.
If you have a specialized career, are they knowledgeable within that realm?
Accessibility is really important to me. If you're dealing with my money, I need to be able to call you. Like, I need you to answer my calls.
It's 2020 in the world. So I think that the professional has to be flexible with the way that the service can be rendered.
You call the company and you get the assurance that they're gonna understand your unique situation, that is instrumental.
Trust your gut when it comes to someone. If they don't feel right, go with someone else. There are thousands of tax preparers that you can work with.
So here are some red flags. If your tax professional tells you that you can't write off anything, you may want to beware. If your tax professional tells you you can write off everything with no documentation, you also want to be aware of that. There have been many changes to the tax code. If your tax professional has been doing your taxes year after year and has not made you aware of any changes in the tax code, that might be a red flag.
Because if they are still doing things the way they did them 30 years ago, then that's not going to help you any. So I'd ask, do you do continuing education? Are you up to date with the new tax laws? Find out what the tax professional is doing to educate themselves on a regular basis to stay in tune with what's happening now.
Great advice, ladies. Thank you. Today we learned about all the different options to file your tax return. Stay tuned to learn about how to actually file the return.